Hey, 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 welcome everybody to the Average African Kid podcast. This is Tuoyo Eresanara, your host, and today, as usual, is another beautiful day, and we have a very special episode, a very special guest on here for this one and quite a few episodes. We're going to be splitting this down into chunks where you can get the best out of it. So, with me today, I have one of my best friends. Like, I call her one of my CEOs. We worked together in San Antonio, and she started some, like, at least two organizations on campus linked with nonprofit organizations. So, we're part of the ambassador program together. She's definitely a revolutionary and someone that is one of the most likable persons ever you will ever meet, and someone that inspires me to push myself to be better. So, without further ado, let's welcome Jordyn Ruiz to the podcast.
Hello, everyone. That was such a sweet introduction. Wow, I'm moved. Thank you for that. Meeting you was such a blessing. I remember at the season of my life, I was just starting, to get into some leadership roles, and I needed some guidance. And you were definitely someone who was already operating in a leadership position, and I kind of looked to you for some tips and tools to put in my toolbox. And quickly you became such a good friend. So I thank you for everything you've added in my life. But definitely a God sent sort of connection. And I think even to this season of my life, like I can still say that. So yes, it's been a wonderful journey to this point. Graduated, we're both graduated and kind of in our own respective, our own respective journeys in life. But I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for coming on to the podcast. And this is one of those ones that we have been talking about this thing for a while. It has been, oh my goodness, we're already in September. It's at least 9 months in the making, right? At least.
I think so. Maybe a year. Yeah.
Yeah, probably a year, probably longer. Yeah. So, yeah.
But I'm glad we're finally doing it. Let's go.
Yeah, so let's talk about what have you been up to this whole pandemic? What's been happening?
Oh, wow. A lot has happened. I think the most prominent thing I can speak on is, I guess, school, which has been a major component of all these years. I'm 23 years old, so as you can imagine, I've been through the school system. I finished my undergrad in May of 2020, and I started a master's program in August of 2020, and I just finished it about 3 weeks ago. And so I've been giving myself a grace period just to kind of be still, to enjoy life a bit. Not that I wasn't enjoying it before, but in a way that's kind of free of some academic stress, and just to kind of, I guess, readjust, reorient myself for, we're always in new stories throughout life. And this story I'm in right now is life after school. What's next for me? And I'm kind of defining that for myself right now.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes.
So for the audience, for those who don't know, so what did you study for your bachelor's and then your master's?
Yes, so I was an ambitious freshman, and I went in with a pre-medicine concentration for medical humanities, which is a bachelor's of arts, and I minored in what is chemistry and biology. So I was a very pre-med oriented individual. My schedule is so filled. I would not want to burden anyone with what I put on myself.
Wow. Then, so you said you went on to do a master's program. So how did that entail?
So I was already in my senior year, and I anticipated I was going to take a gap year. I was pursuing medical school at the time, and I wanted to keep myself, busy in that time and have something that would be an asset to me in the future. And I knew the world revolves on business models, and I wanted to have a working knowledge of what that consisted of in terms of, how these different models present marketing schemes to you that influence you and how you can utilize them for your own maybe business in the future. I had many working ideas with like why I wanted to use this degree, and it changed over time for me. But initially, like I went in because I wanted to do something in my gap year that was beneficial. And regardless of the end outcome, it was. And so it was an accelerated program. It took about a year, and it was, what kept me really busy, I guess, in the last year during this whole pandemic. I had some goal structured, schedule to kind of work off of. That was very helpful in a time that was, riddled with chaos and no real and a lot of confusion. And so at least I had some sort of structure. Even though it was online, I had, something I was working towards. And I think it's very important to have at least a few goals in your life. So yeah, I just graduated with that. But I think one thing to mention is my bachelor's degree and the trajectory of that is very different than what it is now. I'm now using this
Okay.
master's degree to my benefit because I'm in the process of making my own art business. It's a complete 180 to what I originally thought I was going to do, but here I am. We welcome change, we embrace it. It's the only constant, I like to say, in life.
Oh wow, that is really nice. That's really nice. Wow, that's a
Thanks.
that's a mouthful. A bachelor's in pre-medical concentration, a minor's in chemistry and biology.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay, okay. For those out there, it's possible.